I'm not sure whether I'm sad or angry or calm and collected. I have a very unique experience and very unique viewpoint of the world. I don't know if you've seen a movie called They Live. In this movie, this man finds a pair of sunglasses, and after he puts on the sunglasses, he sees the world for what it is rather than something else. So it speaks of the matrix, basically, the visible and invisible. It's an interesting movie, you know. I remember in one of the scenes, he looks at a department store or something like that, and a billboard has a picture of something, but when he puts his glasses on, the billboard says "Obey." I think when I was walking with my kids one day, I looked at Sobeys, which is a local grocery store here in St. John's, Newfoundland, and it is spelled with Sobeys, and right between two S's is Obey. It kind of reminds me of that. Um, I've survived a war, and that completely changed my perception. You know, in Newfoundland, they say you can take a bayman out of the bay, but you can't take the bay out of the bayman. The same thing goes with someone who has survived a war. Your viewpoint changes, and it's really difficult for you to fit in with others. One of my former partners told me that, people see you as somebody who speaks funny, and they don't understand that behind this, laughter, this smile, and the persona that I put on, there's a world of pain. There is a lot of experiences that surely are difficult to express. My trauma traumatizes other people. It's really difficult to be yourself. And it's sad because when I look around me here in St. John's, Newfoundland, here in Canada, you can see so many beautiful, smiling faces from every country, from India, from Indonesia, from Afghanistan, from Iraq, from Ukraine. And they are happy, smiling, friendly faces. But they carry a story that would blow our minds. They had to come here because of a war, because of an economical turmoil, a family feud in their country. For example, half of my family is Muslim, the other half of my family is Roman Catholic. Uh, During the war, I had to choose a side and I couldn't. So I became an enemy to everyone. The Muslims didn't trust me because I stayed with Christians. The Christians didn't trust me because I'm Muslim. And I'm just me. I'm a rock and roll musician. To me, rock and roll is my religion rather than anything else. But that's not how others perceive you, because you are given this kind of identity that you have to carry with you everywhere you are. So the moment I speak up and start laughing, people think I'm Russian. I'm from Eastern Europe, and I became that person. People don't understand that there's something called political racism. Look at our Canadian passport. Most Newfoundlanders are so proud to be Newfoundlanders. I remember when my friend Chris Andrews goes on stage and he goes, "Are there any Newfoundlanders in the house?" And the whole crowd goes, "Yes!" Not understanding that the moment you declare yourself a Newfoundlander, you're basically saying that nobody else belongs here. I'm a Newfoundlander, but you're not. And that's fine. I mean, I used to be the same way. I was a Yugoslav, but the Yugoslavia stopped to exist, so I had to become Bosnian by default. Nevertheless, that doesn't stop us from using our Canadian passport to travel the world. And if you have a Canadian passport, you can go to any country in the world. With a Bosnian passport, there may be 7 places you can go to. And why? What is the difference? You were born in a place that geographically defines as Canada, and I was born in a place that geographically defines as Bosnia and Herzegovina. Did I choose where I will born? Did you choose? I mean, seriously, you wake up one day and somebody tells you you're Irish, you're Newfoundlander, born and bred, and you'll be one till you die. And that's it. You have no choice. Like somebody came up to me and said, "No, you're Muslim, and we're gonna fight you." But I'm not Muslim. I don't practice. I don't want to fight. No, you gotta fight. You have no choice. That's racism. The borders are imaginary. There's one God, one love, one human race. To declare yourself a Bosnian or Newfoundlander, American, Canadian is foolish. It's completely foolish. It's like just saying I'm a man or I'm a woman. It's also foolish. It took one mother and one father to create you. You are half of your mother and you're half of your father. It says that this beautiful pattern of hair comes from your mother's side. So most of us that do not have hair and thus don't use shampoo and don't pollute the environment, we are eco-friendly, are basically gifted with this gene from our mother's side. It's just like that. This is a very triggering video. This is a very self-revealing video that is not going to go overly well with die-hard nationalists, because patriotism is nationalism. I remember when my friend Arthur O'Brien and the Navigators did the song The Islander. I'm a Newfoundlander, born and bred, and I'll be one till I die. And then they switched to Another Brick in the Wall by the Floyd, not realizing that basically they are the same song, or in the words of my friend Liz from Liz Band, The Whole Universe One Song. These are the same songs and they are completely different message. On one side, you're proud, excuse me, to be a Newfoundlander. On the other one, you're realizing that you're just another brick in the wall. By strongly declaring that you're a Newfoundlander, that excludes absolutely everyone else. Then you're not from mainland, you're not an American, you're not whatever it is. Being a Newfoundlander is not a choice. It's something that you kind of was given to you. You were born on this beautiful island and you love it. And that's fine. I love the whole world. Newfoundland is my home. This is where I'm raising my children, and it's a beautiful place. And just like Bosnia, or India, or Japan, or Holland. But we have to understand that these borders are artificial, that politics and the economy create them. Look at the border of Africa, African countries. If you look at African continent, they have these straight lines right in the middle of the country and divides, Sudan from North Sudan. But really, when you go down there, it's the same people. Just like in the Balkans, you have Croatia, you have Bosnia, and you have Serbia. We are the same people, speaking the same language. Yet, we went hard at it. The war in the Balkans was not a game. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. The worst thing that I can imagine happened there. And of course, it changed my perspective of the world for the rest of my life. You know, I don't know how many people are going to see this video and how many people are going to be able to open their hearts and minds because of something that I call emotional conditioning. We unfortunately think with our hearts, not with our minds. The reason why I put this photo at the beginning of my video is these two beautiful restaurants right here in St. John's, Newfoundland. They are on Freshwater Road. One is called Chess's Fish and Chips Place, and the other one at this point is, I think, an Indian restaurant. I first came to Newfoundland in '96, and Chess's was at the same location on Freshwater Road. Next door to Chess's, there's been about 20 different restaurants in 20 years. I'm exaggerating, but at least 10. There was a Mexican restaurant, there was an Indian restaurant, there was a Persian restaurant, Sri Lankan restaurant. Now it's a Middle Eastern restaurant or something like that. They come and go. And when I looked at this restaurant next to Chess's, I almost started crying because I myself had a restaurant for a couple of years with my family, and I know how difficult it was to start a business as a newcomer here in St. John's, Newfoundland. Because you are fighting the emotional conditioning. You know, I'm a Newfoundlander born and bred, and I'll be one till I die. And I'll eat fish and chips until it kills me. One of the reasons why I came back to Newfoundland, again after being away for almost 20 years in Asia, was fish and chips. To this day, it's my favorite food. Two-piece fish and chips, dressing and gravy. I love that stuff. Deep fried fish, deep fried chips or French fries, potatoes, dressing and gravy, a can of Coca-Cola. Now I'm drinking root beer with it, and it's heaven. I would say it's about 5,000 calories. Cholesterol, grease. I had a heart attack about 6 months ago. Then I had a heart surgery. For a month and a half, I was in the hospital crying every single day, promising myself I will never, ever eat another chip or anything deep fried because of the amount of pain that I went through. 6 months later, I'm a Newfoundlander born and bred, and I'll be one till I die. I'm back to eating fish and chips. This is how difficult it is to change. This is how difficult it is to understand that our emotional conditioning, our patriotism, is actually detrimental to our evolving as human beings, as collective, as community. It is forcing us to act in such way that is not good to ourselves. We all know that McDonald's is unhealthy. We all know that fish and chips is unhealthy. We have a huge problem with heart conditions here in Newfoundland. So much so that in the city called, or in the town called Gander, we have created a new center for heart diseases. And check out the name they chose for it: Heart Force One. Yeah, I think it's inspired by Air Force One, the American, president's jet's name or something like that. But the Heart Force One. We have so many people waiting for a heart surgery right now. I waited for a month and a half because I was lucky. There are people who wait for years. A man who was in bed next to me, in excellent shape. I'm a man in good shape too. This man was in better shape than me. Healthy, young, good looking. 17 bypass cysts had to be, put into his heart arteries. I can't explain it to you. I really can't. It's just something that you have to at some point wake up yourself and open your own eyes and see. Because right there, you have two restaurants. One is serving deep fried food. The other one is actually an ethnic restaurant that serves pretty healthy, mostly vegetarian food. They serve dal, lentils, rice, some oven baked chicken because they don't have fryers. And it's delicious, it's cheaper, it's healthier, and you get to support a local economy. But no, you make that choice. I make that choice. I am the problem. I go to fish and chips rather than having a nice, healthy meal from a family that came from a war torn country. And they didn't come, they were brought here. None of the immigrants here came on their own. The conditions were created in our countries by the international involvement, by big corporations selling guns, by the market, by the capitalism that supports our country here, because Canada is one of the biggest arms exporters in the world, just like South Korea is, for example. We sell guns. That's what supports our economy. If there's no war, we starve. That's the reality. So we cannot blame these people there for coming here. They woke up one morning and somebody told them, "Look, you are my enemy, I'm going to shoot you. Because you're not a Newfoundlander born and bred. You're not Canadian. You're Bosnian, you're Serbian, you're Croatian, you're Armenian, you're Ukrainian. What is the difference between a Russian and a Ukrainian? The same religion, similar languages, same culture. But they feel as different as Canadians and Americans. What is the difference between a Canadian and American except for cultural differences that are basically just local differences? One love, one God, one human race. None of us chose our parents or where we will be born. The reality is that these people came here because they had to. They had no choice. And then they came here and tried to do the right thing. And by doing the right thing, they become an enemy. And then when they go downtown and Chris Andrews goes, "Are there any Newfoundlanders in the house?" Yes, bye. I'm right here looking at you. I'm a Newfoundlander too. And I'm giving you an opportunity to meet me, to try some healthy food, to change your outlook on the world and realize that we are all in this together. And that our identity has been shaped by big corporations, by our economy, by our politics, rather than by anything else. And if anybody can understand that, is Newfoundland. Which is why I proudly display the flag of the Republic of Newfoundland, and people call me a separatist. I'm not a separatist. I just want to tell you that there is a better way. There's a better way to do this. Don't fall into the narrative. I'm going out for some fish and chips. Well, there's no hope for me, but I hopefully the new generations can see the truth. That's the unfortunate part, that many of us will actually die before we change. I would rather die than go eat the lentils. Love you all. See you in the next video. Have a great day.